Hey, what's good, guys? DGE, Dolphin Gang Entertainment. It's your boy DG, and we back with another live stream. Appreciate y'all for pulling up on me. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe for more content. Check my bio down below for all my inquiries. If you want to talk business, on top of that, I'll get to that 10K. That 10K is on its way. I appreciate y'all, love y'all. Before I get into the video, please support the channel. Scan that QR code on the top left-hand corner for any donations. If you want to get some merch, we have all shirts available. I actually got this shirt on right now. These are like my workout shirts. You know, I just came from the gym. You know, right after the gym, I'm jumping on live stream. Right after the gym, man. So if y'all want these shirts, y'all go hit that link. We have all sizes available: extra small, small, medium, large. Extra large. We got medium too. Whatever you want, man. But there's not a lot to talk about. I'm in Dolphins country right now. So basically, with this video, we're just gonna go over what the team needs are. What do the Dolphins need? What do they really need? You know, there's a lot of needs with this team, but the main need: backup quarterback, another receiver. You know, running back, it's not a big need, but we need to replace Raheem Mostert. You know, I don't think we're gonna bring Raheem Mostert back. I don't think so. O-line, we definitely need we need a lot of work with that O-line. A lot of work. D tackle, we definitely need somebody. DN, we need one more DN. You know, our DNs go through too much injuries. We need somebody on each level. Each level. We need another cornerback, another safety, everything, man. But hey, before I get into this, please like, comment, subscribe. Y'all help y'all boy to get to that 10K, please and thank you. Let's check this out.
HQ Spotlight, guys. You know, I'm headed to Cabo tomorrow for my bachelorette. Maybe. Yeah, humble brag, Kaylee. I know. But maybe.
I don't know if
the reason why I say this is that I'll see some of these guys down in Cabo because these guys are all
the Jags in Cabo. I think they're all in Cabo.
They not even connected. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Bluetooth. Okay. All right, we ready now.
They go to the Caribbean.
Welcome back to HQ Spotlight, guys. You know, I'm headed to Cabo tomorrow for my bachelorette.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, humble brag, Kaylee. I know. But maybe. The reason why I say this is that I'll see some of these guys down in Cabo because these guys are all
the Jags in Cabo. I think they're all in Cabo.
They go to the Caribbean. The West Coast teams go to Cabo.
Okay. Clearly some work to do for these teams. Their season is done. Their vacations have started, but the work also starts this week as we welcome you back into our studio.
Man, I already see some of our players in Mexico right now. I'm already seeing it.
Sports studios. We've got Pete Prisco and Lige Douzable joining. We're going to do a little off-season checklist here with some of our eliminated teams. So let's start with the Patriots. I feel like that's an appropriate place to start. Because, oh my goodness, what a whirlwind this season has been. And Pete, I'll come to you first here. Obviously, there's been a lot of movement. They fired Gerard Mayo, which was a surprise to a lot of people when they did it. But in terms of what they need on the roster, it's like, close your eyes and pick. Where do I replace here? My heart says offensive line, but where do they go first here with that pick?
Well, first they have to find a coach.
Yeah, that's
I mean, first and foremost, you have to figure out who your coach is going to be. It's probably going to be Mike Vrabel.
For sure.
At least it looks like it will be. And that would be a move in the right direction. Look, Mike Vrabel will instill a culture there, a toughness, a physical play, a style of play. And if you're going to have a physical style of play and build that around your quarterback, you're right. They need offensive line help. The more big people you can have in this league, all you have to do is look at the good teams in the NFL. They all have big, powerful offensive lines.
Yes,
if you can run the football and if you can protect your quarterback, you're going to win in this league. So, yes, they definitely need to
Dolphins, y'all heard that?
address the offensive line.
Yeah, I'm with Pete. I actually went down this rabbit hole last night when they talked about needs for the New England Patriots, and I actually put my GM hat on last night. So, first and foremost, you got to get a head coach. I think it's funny, though, Pete, we talk about Mike Vrabel because we talked about this last year. When he got fired, it seemed like he couldn't get an interview, but now he's the hottest coach
amazing.
candidate.
Did
Like,
you see where
where did that come from?
Did you see where he changed his profile picture on Twitter to him playing for the Patriots? Did you see that?
Oh,
Go look on
foreshadow.
Twitter.
Foreshadow.
This happened like
So they fired Gerard Mayo. He only been with the Patriots for 1 year. I hate when that happens. You hire a head coach, you only keep him for 1 year and you fire him. You gotta give him at least 2 years to make things right. At least 2. But they let him go after 1 year. 1 year, man. So shout out to Gerard Mayo, one of the best linebackers to ever play for the Patriots. They didn't even care. He made history with the Patriots, to be real. Won Super Bowls and all that, but they said, nah, we good. We're going to get somebody else. So I don't know who's going to be in the running to be the next head coach for the Patriots, but it seems like the hottest job currently. So a lot of, candidates are looking at the Patriots in regards to that being a team that they want to coach because Drake May showed a lot this year. He showed a lot. So I don't know. Based off what Drake May could be next year, he might. I don't want to say that he could end up being better than Tua, but there is a small chance that it does happen. The Patriots, they got $100 million in cap space, so they could address the O-line quickly. I promise y'all. And they're going to see the talent with the quarterback, and people going to want to go to the Patriots. And that might turn up Drake May, and that might be bad news for the Dolphins if Drake May ends up being that good. Could be bad news.
almost immediately, like I don't know where I was in the timeline, but Vrabel's, I checked before we went up, his profile picture is still him in a Patriots
It's only
uniform,
a matter of time for them to make that announcement. So I have him as the head coach as well. And then you talked about it, Haley. They have over $130 million to spend in free agency. But we'll talk about the draft first. I think they should go Will Campbell, offensive tackle, because you talked about it. You got to build it up front. All good teams, they build it from within out. Offensive line, defensive line. They've struggled on the offensive line. Michael Winter, who is probably the only guy that could be considered.
He's either Patriots going old lineman or Travis Hunter. Old lineman or Travis Hunter.
The guy that's going to be a starter next year. So I have them taking Will Campbell in the first round from LSU to solidify that left tackle. Then I went Patrick McCarry from the Ravens. He's a guy that can play all five positions, so you can play him at guard, you can play him at tackle. Then T. Higgins. They need a big play receiver on the outside, and it's going to cost them. But fortunately for them, Pete, they have the money to spend. They're probably going to have to overspend to get T. Higgins there. But you have Drake May. You have a quarterback of the future. You need to get him a true number one receiver. And then I went to the defensive line. Patrick Jones. Now, a lot of people may not know who that is. He's like the third end for the Minnesota Vikings. Career year, 7 sacks this year. He could be a frontline starter for them in the future.
All right, Lige, let's talk about your Jets.
We're going to see if the Patriots make the right choice. We're going to see. They in our division, so we don't want them to do too good. We don't. But, they might end up making the right moves, paying the right players. It just depends on the head coach as well and the players that he wants to bring in for the Patriots. There's a lot of talent on the Patriots right now. A lot of talent. I'm not going to lie. Do not sleep on the Patriots. Do not sleep on them.
Because, man, where we were coming into the season on the Jets and where we are now, what a journey it's been. There's a lot of question marks in terms of the quarterback. Is Aaron Rodgers going to retire? What's going to happen there? And kind of in the same category as the Patriots, there are a lot of needs, maybe not as many, but where do they start in your opinion?
GM and head coach. You have to get that right. And I have them pairing Aaron Glenn, who was a first-round pick for the New York Jets and a 2-time Pro Bowler. Matter of fact, when you walk into the building on the front office side, he has a big picture there. So I think it would mean a lot to him to go back home to the New York Jets. And then Ray Agnew was another guy who was a pro scout when I was there. He's actually the assistant general manager for Detroit. So they already kind of have a nice relationship. And we saw how Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions built that thing the right way. I think that would be.
But I don't think the Jets will go another DC. I don't think so. I do not think so. They're probably going to go with the offensive mind. How you go from Robert Saleh to Aaron Glenn. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think so.
Yeah, great pairing. Ray Agnew as the GM and then Aaron Glenn as the head coach. And then you got to figure out, what are you doing at the quarterback position? Well, I have them releasing Aaron Rodgers right now. He has a cap number, I think dead cap number of $49 million. But if they make it a post-June 1st cut, they can kind of split that up $14 million and $35 million. And then also I have them releasing Devontae Adams because he has a $38 million cap hit, but if they release him, it's only 8.3 dead money cap hit.
Oh, wow. That's not bad.
I'm getting there. I
only have 13 minutes for a second.
I got you.
We're gonna have to.
I have Tyrod Taylor being the bridge quarterback, and I have him in the second round taking Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss for the developmental quarterback. But the number 7 pick, Tedderone McMillan to pair with Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a lot of things that play there.
That's nasty, man. If they get that a receiver from Arizona, it's over. It's over. But it depends on what quarterback they get. Tyrod Taylor, he a good quarterback, but he get injured easily.
I don't know if they're necessarily going to move on from Aaron Rodgers. It depends on who the coach is. But I like the pairing that you have in Aaron Glenn and Ray Agnew. That would make a lot of sense. They've cast a wide net. Rick Spielman, who we know very well, is part of the process. They are talking to everybody and anybody to try and figure out who that guy will be. But Glenn would be a good one. I think he would change the culture immediately with the Jets.
I loved Aaron Glenn, too, where Dan Campbell was talking, and he's like, we'd like to keep him here in Detroit. And, Glenn's like, yeah, I'll just be happy to have a job. So we love that.
He wants to be a head coach.
Yeah, of course. Let's talk about the Dolphins, who they have their head coach in Mike McDaniel. We know he signed that extension through 28. But the Dolphins right now kind of feel like a fighting family where you have like one kid that's trying to run away from home, like things didn't work out, so I'm done, I'm quitting. You've got your quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa who like can't stay healthy even though they've paid him. The owner, Chris Greer, has come out and said, guys, like we're gonna figure this out. But Pete, I'll come to you here. Just looking at the situation in Miami right now, where do you
Quick ad. Hold on, y'all.
start?
Well, it starts with instilling discipline in your program. And you have a head coach comes out a couple days after the season ends and starts talking about fining players isn't good enough for guys being late. That's a bad look.
For sure.
And that's a reflection of your head coach.
That's real bad. I don't blame Mike McDaniel for saying that, but the fact that the players getting exposed like that, that makes me look at the players differently. So it's on y'all in regards to getting the players right. There should be some leaders in the locker room. If somebody come in late, somebody got to snap on them. Somebody got to snap on them players that's coming late, man. Whoever it is. I know Tyreek Hill, he one of them.
I've said for the last couple years, it's too loose.
Yeah.
And I think that shows up the way they play, too. They're not tough either. So 2 things that they need to find this offseason is discipline and toughness. And until they figure that out, they're not going to win football games. You know the whole narrative, you can't win in the cold? That goes back to being tough. It goes back to running the football. It goes back to lining up and being a tough physical team. And I think they allowed a lot of tough guys out the door. Van Ginkel, tough guy, out the door. Christian Wilkins, tough guy, out the door. You made mistakes. Robert Hunt, the offensive guard, out the door. You made mistakes. And so I think those are the 2 things this team has to find in the offseason.
You're not worried about personnel. You're just worried about the people finding
there's personnel problems too, but it starts with this.
Clear.
If
the culture.
You have to have a culture, and I think it's too lenient there.
And I'm with you. I pick it back.
And it all reflects on the head coach in regards to what he believes in and how he treats the players. So Mike McDaniel, his personality, his aura is rubbing off on the players, and how they're reacting, how they're acting in the locker room is showing.
Back off that, you talked about them losing Robert Hunt. I thought that was a piece they couldn't lose. So I have them getting Tevin Jenkins from the Chicago Bears to be able to run the ball effectively. And they've had some issues on the edge with guys staying healthy. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. So I have them taking Mykel Williams with the number 13 overall pick, pair him with Chop Robinson, because we don't know the health status of Chubbs and Phillips going forward.
Man, I don't think we're going to go edge again in the first round. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm pretty sure we're going to address D tackle or O-line.
It feels like the Dolphins, the first team we've talked about, at least so far, where we're talking about culture being the priority and not necessarily the front office. We're going to go and talk about a pair of AFC North teams, starting with the Cincinnati Bengals. And boy, they always make things interesting, don't they? They start slow. They end the season at 500, but still, they just missed the playoffs, even though Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind. A couple of things going on here. Of course, with their DC, Lou Anarumo, they fire him, but also there is the Jamar.
Shout out to my boy Billy Batson. Thank you for putting up on me. It sounded like a job for Coach Gruden. Gruden. He won a Super Bowl before. He won one, so I wouldn't mind Gruden. But hey, they already said that we keep in Mike McDaniel, we keep in Chris Greer. So ain't nothing that we can do. Nothing. Robert Hunt wears finger. fingernail polish. He needs to relax, man. Hey, at least he's a good guard. If you're a good player and you wear nail polish, I could work with you. But if you're a bad player and you wear nail polish, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Chase of it all, because he's on the last year of his rookie deal. He's, their owner, Mike Brown, is saying, hey, we're going to pay him. But Bengals brass, I covered that team for a long time. They're not exactly, I don't know, like the money's not flowing over there in Cincinnati. So, Pete, how do they figure this out? Is that number one over the DC? It feels like it is.
Well, first off, that's an old narrative about the Bengals. That the scouting staff isn't big enough and they don't spend a lot of money. They've upgraded. They've done a lot of things.
Since the Super Bowl, it has been upgraded.
Yeah, it's been upgraded.
Yeah,
so,
I will say that.
But that used to be the reputation that they have. So I kind of defend them a little bit on that. But you're right. They have to pay Jamar Chase, and probably made a mistake not paying him right away because the number just went up. When a guy wins a Triple Crown, the number goes up. He's been outstanding this year. Ideally, you'd like to keep T. Higgins. You saw what their offense becomes when T. Higgins is.
You might have to give T. Higgins and Jamar Chase over $30 million, both of them. Both of them. So I don't know how the Bengals are going to do it, but they're going to have to blow the bag this offseason. They're going to have to blow the bag.
On the field, you can't keep them both. So pay Chase and go out and find another wide receiver to go with him, and then build up the defense. You got to get the right defensive coordinator in there. It probably became a little stale with Lou Anarumo there, but they didn't exactly fill the coffers with players on that side.
With QuickBooks Solopreneur, keep your finances organized year-round. Move from books to taxes.
Correct.
Ball. And so I think you need to address defense and find another wide receiver.
Well, addressing defense, right? They're playing, or going to hopefully pay one of their best playmakers in Jamar Chase. How about you pay the best defensive player as well, Trey Hendrickson, right? Because we talked about
That's way too much money. That's another $30 million for a DN. So you're gonna give $30 million to T. Higgins. You're gonna give $35 million plus to Jamar Chase, and you're gonna give 30 plus to Trey Hendrickson. That's a lot. That's over close to $100 million in 1 year. Close to $100 million. I don't think the Bengals have that cap space to do that. I do not think so.
Jamar Chase's bag just went up. So did Trey Hendrickson. He led the league in sacks. And these are two frontline guys that you decided not to pay in the offseason. So similar to Jerry Jones and Dallas Cowboys, no offense, Haley, the price tag has gone up.
To get into that
and then I have them hiring Robert Saleh to fix this defense. You got to think, going back to his days in San Francisco, people forget those first couple of years when Jimmy G was there, they weren't putting up the points that they're putting up now with Brock Purdy. It was led by its defense. And this will be the first time Robert Saleh will have an offense that he knows that every game can score 24 to 30 points. So you've seen him do wonders with the New York Jets. You've seen him do wonders with the San Francisco 49ers. I think Robert Saleh as D coordinator makes a lot of sense.
If he doesn't get a head coach.
If he doesn't get a head coach.
He's in the mix for a couple of those jobs.
But 49ers, they're interested in regards to bringing Robert Saleh back. I heard the news about that. So 49ers, they might go back to that Super Bowl team that they used to be. If they get Robert Saleh back, they might.
Great. We got one more to wrap things up here. We're talking about the Browns, who have the second overall pick this year. As much as I love Jameis Winston's quotes, I did not like his.
With Browns, I'm hearing that they might go after Drew Aylar, the Penn State quarterback. He's still in the playoffs right now, so there's no indication as to him going back to college. He might, but he hasn't said nothing yet. But if he comes into the draft, he grew up a Browns fan. So I think it will be Cam Ward 1. Then it will be Drew Aylar 2. And then Shador, he'll probably last until the Raiders pick.
For his play on the field. So, Lige, if you were the Browns, where do you start here? They need quarterback, tackle, wide receiver, running back, etc.
First and foremost, I need to figure out, is Kevin Stefanski going to call the plays next year or not? Because he's one of the best play callers in all football. I think everybody knew he was hamstring tied in regards to who was at quarterback and what he could do. So they need to first figure that out. Andrew Berry, the GM, already came out and said Deshaun Watson's had the setback. What does that mean? We don't know. But I have them taking Shador Sanders in the draft this year because they need to.
Shador, he's not going to go there. Dion, he's not going to let Shador go there. I don't have that feeling in regards to that. I don't. I got a video of Shador. He's going to speak in regards to the top 5 picks and the teams that are in the top 5. We're going to watch that. We have Travis Hunter, too. We're going to watch that. We have DeAndre Hopkins. You got a lot of videos for y'all. A lot of videos. I wish I could go over Dolphin stuff with y'all, but there's not a lot of Dolphin stuff to talk about now. The season over. Season over. So we're gonna talk about these other teams.
Said that. Yes, you're going to take on a lot of bad money, but that you laid your.
They got Cam Ward 1, Shador Sanders 2, Travis Hunter 3 to the Giants, Kelvin Banks 4. I wish he fell to the Dolphins. Kelvin Banks, Macy Graham 5, Will Johnson 6. Raiders not getting a quarterback. You tripping? You tripping? They need a quarterback, or they might try to trade for JJ McCarthy. You know, if the Raiders traded this number 6 pick to the Vikings, I'm pretty sure they will give it to him for JJ. Pretty sure, man. It's kind of risky spending a first-round pick on a quarterback who just tore his ACL. You don't know if he's good or not. But Raiders, at this point, they got to take the risk. It's either that or Kirk Cousins. I don't know how the Raiders feel about that. I don't know. They got the Jets taking that Arizona wide receiver, the 6'6 guy, 6'5". So him and Garrett Wilson, that would be nasty. Him and Garrett Wilson, oh my. How are we going to cover him? How? Abdul Carter to the Panthers, and Michael Williams, he a pretty good edge guy out of Georgia, going to the Saints, and Will Campbell to the Bears. You know, so this is pretty accurate, but I do think the Raiders probably going to get a quarterback. Jaguars, they probably going to do BPA, best player available. Kelvin Banks, you know, that's protection for Drake May. Travis Hunter, who knows how they're going to use him. They got to make sure that they get a quarterback as well. I don't think the New York Giants is going to stay at number 3 and not get a quarterback. I don't think so. I think they really want Cam Ward, but I don't think Cam Ward is not going to the Titans. I just see this happening, Cam Ward to the Titans. I see it happening.
Your bed and you lay in it. So, like, they have to take a quarterback to restart this issue that they have at the quarterback position right now. You see my guy Ryan Wilson actually agrees with me right there as well.
You think Shador's taking that Rolls Royce to Cleveland?
Does he not want to be the number 2 overall pick?
Oh, so tough.
And what choice does he have?
That's what I'm saying. And then if you think about it, Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time Coach of the Year. Why would you not want to be with him? We saw what he's done with other quarterbacks. Shoot, Haley had 5 quarterbacks and went to the playoffs still. So to me, it makes a lot of sense for Shador to actually want to go there. And then I had them taking Alaric Jackson in free agency because they've had issues on the offensive line. Jarrett Willis was the guy they took in the first round. He just can't stay healthy, and now he's a free agent. So those would be the 2 big things I would do if I'm the Browns.
Yeah, quarterback has to get solved. I mean, first and foremost. And what do you do? You know, where did Deshaun Watson suffer the setback on one of the vacations he was on?
Oh, my goodness.
You're not at the
That's
facility.
funny.
You're clearly out gallivanting around. So
Probably a massage. That's probably what happened. They massaged the leg too hard, and it messed up his ACL or something like that. Something.
I think that's the biggest waste of money trade in the history of the NFL, okay? It is. It was a terrible deal. They gave away a ton of assets. They paid him a boatload of guarantee money. And Kevin Stefanski probably didn't even want that to happen. It came from above. So now they have to deal with that. You have to correct it. I'm with you. Get a quarterback. Whatever way you do, you have to get a quarterback. If you're sitting there at number 2, you might not be there again. Draft one of those guys if you believe that guy can be the guy, and that's still to be determined.
Yeah, it just $400,000 in guaranteed money. I mean, it's just a disaster. But maybe I'll see him in Cabo. Guys, thank you so much for
Even everywhere else, I can tell you that.
Sure, I might go to Cabo to see the Dolphin players. I might go. I might just go. Next, we got Ricky Parasol, Debo. They're going to talk about the season. Parasol, he came on strong towards the end of the season. Came on real strong. Let's hear what he has to say after getting shot this year, you know, and coming back from that and having a pretty good end of the year. You know, let's check him out.
Almost forgot about it. Like, I started like doing the chirp.
Whole season probably felt like a
Sure. My favorite moment with Ricky.
for you.
Yeah, it was cool. And it was actually kind of funny because when we were sitting down on our bench on the receiver side, I heard one of my buddies yelling at me, and I turned around. I'm like, hello? And it was like one of my friends from high school back there.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was so funny. But I had like 50 family members just from my mom's side. I didn't even know I had like
deep.
Yeah,
I
I
love
didn't even
that.
know I had 50 family members on my mom's side. So,
He's like, who is that again?
like for real. And then I seen them all at the family section at the end. So it was really cool. But
I love
it was
that.
also better that I got to get in the paint too. So
Yeah, that makes it even more exciting. Did that was that like the cherry on top for that game?
it was because they were at the suites, I think literally right above the end zone that I scored on. So
I love
it was
that.
written. It was written.
I love that. Favorite moment from your rookie season? And then
My
I'm going to
favorite
make you
moment?
guys share your favorite moment with each other this season. But first, your rookie moment.
All right, cool.
I gotta think. My favorite moment. I don't know. I feel like I have fun like every day equally. Like, to be honest, like I just go out there and practice, and me and Debo are getting lit to the music and dancing everywhere and just enjoying ourselves. But probably all the wins that we had. I mean, Kyle always talking about, he's like, you only really have fun in this game when you win it. So I think that's super true. So whenever we get a W, I'm happy when it's fun. But
is there a win that sticks out the most to you this season?
What was my first win? Was that Dallas? I think that was Dallas.
But I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
I'm probably going to go with the first one.
Okay.
Because that was my first start, too.
Yeah.
My first start was my first W, so.
That's special.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't like to say it was a coincidence.
Now, what's your favorite moment? By the way, when we speak about you on the show, one of the things he compliments the most about you is the energy that you have. Just always. Like, you're constantly in a good mood, bringing up the energy, and just hearing your response on your favorite moments, it seems like you just are having the time of your life, which is contagious, clearly, because he talks about it.
I feel like we go off each other, though.
Nah, for sure. My favorite moment with Ricky, I wasn't even on the field at the time. But all the stuff that he dealt with, coming back from the situation where he came from when he scored his first touchdown. And
Kyle Shanahan, he came out and said that he's not getting rid of Debo. There are some speculations in regards to the Dolphins might have some interest in regards to bringing Debo in. We don't have Odell on the team no more. As of right now, it seems like Malik Washington, he wide receiver number 3. But I do still think that the team might bring in competition for Malik, to see if he could actually deserve that number 3 spot, because he won it by default. When Odell Beckham left, that's when we seen Malik a little bit more out there, a little bit more.
I just see him running down there, and that was a big moment for me, but it was his moment at the time. But just dealing with everything he dealt with, coming back, practice. They told him he was gonna be ready a couple weeks earlier. They didn't cut him loose. He kind of got mad. But then he came back. He scored his first touchdown. I think that was my biggest moment for sure.
I love it. What about yours with Debo?
Me with Debo? I don't know. Like I said, it's like
all of them.
It's like every day.
Every day at work.
But I feel like maybe even just some stuff like off the field too. Because like it's always football for us, and that's our jobs. And Debo scores a lot of touchdowns and makes a lot of plays. So I'm always lit for him, and we're always going crazy. But he took me to the Warriors game.
How was that?
And that was like the first time. Like I feel like. No, I came over here to your house one time. That was the first time like we spent like time off the field together. Yeah. Which was cool, and we had all the receivers here for like a little brunch.
You guys were mic'd up, so you kind of had to be careful about how much fun you probably truly had.
They took care of it.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah, people rocking them Asics now. I'm not even gonna lie. Them Aces, they look hard. I'm not even gonna lie. Billy said 2025 is a lame duck season for McDaniel. Hopefully, Coach Gruden is still available this time next year. I think he's gonna be available, man. There's a lot of good coaches available to the point where Gruden, he's not gonna get a job. That's what I think. That's why I can't see the Raiders trading for JJ. JJ is worth only a 3rd round pick. If he's worth a 3rd round pick, then they probably will make that move. But if he's worth like a 2nd or 1st, especially for a QB needy team, I wouldn't be surprised if you go for a 2nd. Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe a low 2nd. Yeah, you see? That's what I'm thinking, a low 2nd for JJ.
Yeah, we were doing that.
It does seem like a very genuine person, just from the outside looking in.
And and then to football, he's helped me along the way as far as adapting to the playbook and just being myself back out there.
I don't know where to go with this video. I don't want to watch the whole thing. I do not want to watch the whole thing. So I'm gonna just go to the Travis Hunter video. Give me one moment. See what Travis Hunter got to say about the draft.
Brand or content through apparel. Tapstitch makes. What's one thing you're excited for in 2025?
What I'm excited for? More life. 2025, more life, more opportunities, and be able to spend more time with the people I love.
Yeah, dope. Are there any New Year's resolutions, or are you just taking it day by day type of guy?
No, I got a couple of New Year's resolutions, but It's mainly just take care of my body, stay focused and keep going.
Okay.
There's a couple of resolutions that I have, but
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that for a minute anyway, so just got to keep being better as a person. But what about
Right.
you? You got some New Year resolutions?
Man, I don't make
Lose
you
100 pounds.
Hey, man, I'm looking good, man. Lose 100 pounds. Boy, I look good. I was just talking. I was on earlier telling how fine I done got. But I done got fine. Boy, I done lost about 40 pounds. So look, hey, I started that before the New Year. But I'm not a big New Year resolution guy. But you're right. I done got fine on them. So that was part of it. So all 2025, my goal is to stay fine. You know what I'm saying? So they all the women.
I don't got no New Year's resolution. I've been trying to get better ever since last year, man. So all my goals stay the same. 2024, 2025, I'm still chasing the same thing, man. My main goal is to get to 100K on this channel. 100K. So I know there's a lot more that I gotta do with this YouTube channel for me to get to that 100K, but I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
Who wanted to rub on my belly? The belly gone. I done got rid of the belly. Belly gone.
Just go ahead and get the surgery, bro.
The surgery? Why would I want to get surgery? Somebody else said, I told look, no BBL book. BBL stand for Boogie B lifting. That's what BBL stand for. Boogie B lifting. I be in that lifting weight, getting rid of weight. That's what I've been doing. I'm all 2025.
That's
all I'm
real.
gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Work on my health. Health is wealth, as they say. So yeah, that's what I'm on, man. All 2025. You're gonna see me getting active. You know what I'm saying? So when we go to that green room, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm gonna have a suit on. That suit gonna be hugging me. I'm gonna be fitted. I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be ready.
You just gonna get it smaller. That's it.
I'm gonna have a 6-pack, everything. A 4-pack, maybe. That might not be 6. It's gonna be at least 4.
At least 4. Shit, I wish I had a 6-pack. I wish.
I'm telling you,
nothing.
Man. I'm telling you, Trav. I'm telling you, they been telling me. They say, "Ooh, Boogie, you getting fired?" I said, "Girl, I know." Oh man, you think resolutions overrated?
Nah, not to some people. Some people actually stick up to it, and some people don't. So, but,
Yeah.
I mean, just gotta better yourself as a person.
Yeah, same. Man. I'm not with it. I just live my life.
Yeah, just live your life and just better yourself.
And I feel like if it's a good decision, I know it's a good decision and a bad decision. I try to make the good decision.
Mm-hmm.
What's something fun or random you might want to try this year?
This year, something fun or random.
Mm-hmm.
A fish. No, I'm playing. I might go skydiving.
Oh, Lord, that's extreme. That's kind of extreme, man.
Yeah, dangerous right there.
Skydiving or shark swimming.
Hey, NFL not gonna let you do that. NFL will not let you do that right there. No way.
Sharks. Hey, man. You got man. What's going on with you, man? You to the extreme.
I don't know though. I'm probably skydiving though. I don't know. I've been trying to go. I was supposed to go skydiving like last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or the year? Yeah, last year. But I ain't end up doing it.
This man
Probably like
skydiving or swimming with the sharks. Well, I tell you what, either one of them, both of them, I'm gonna be on the ground waiting on you to return. I'm not partaking in none of that. Somebody got to be here to tell a story. Yeah, I mean, you better do it before you get drafted, though. Cause that might be in your NFL contract. No skydiving, no swimming with sharks.
Nope. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Take your contract.
Or I might just get more yaks, more tats.
Okay. Go get added up.
Mm-hmm. Face tat.
Two. Next
stop.
stop.
Thumbnail, actually put some face tats on me for the thumbnail. Put some face tats.
Yeah. Tat him up real good. Yeah. Give that boy some teardrops.
Hey, y'all know what that mean.
And put bless right here. Bless.
Yeah, right across the forehead. Yeah, man. Boy. All right. Next stop in 2025, NFL, man. Is it sinking in yet? Like, has it hit?
A little bit. Not really. I be watching. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I don't like to watch NFL, but I've been watching way more NFL. I ain't gonna lie. Since our last game and since before that game, I've been trying to see what's gonna be that number 1 pick.
The Titans.
You been keeping up with that.
Yo, nonstop.
Yeah. Well, the day it ended.
Every time the number 1 pick change, My Zillow research page.
That's
Bruh.
crazy. So that mean if the Patriots had got the number one pick, then he would have looked for spots in New England. Tennessee Titans, they got the number one pick, so you're gonna look at spots in Tennessee. Browns, Cleveland. So it makes sense. So I think Travis Hunter, he is expecting to go in the first round. He is expecting that.
Yo, I see the Patriots
First
fired
round,
Coach
first
Mayo
pick.
today. Like, bro, you won the one game you supposed to lose. He won the game, man. They got rid of him 5 minutes after the game, man. You think they
5
had a
minutes.
part?
Soon as he walked off the field, departure, you can't go back with the team.
Bruh, what are you doing, coach?
No, that's funny, bro. That's crazy.
That he was not supposed to win that game.
That's what I said. The game he wasn't supposed to win, he won.
He won.
I think they had like 71% chance of being number 1, too.
Yeah, they had it on lock.
Had it on lock.
That's crazy, bro.
It's all good.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, what's the number one thing you're looking forward to the most regarding the NFL?
Go out there and play. I just want to know where I'm standing at. Once I know where I'm standing at, I'm good.
Then you figured out from there.
Yeah. Ain't really nothing. It's football. Just gotta go out there and play football. But as long as I know where I'm standing at, I'm good with it.
Yeah, for real. Okay. Man, what are you doing for the NFL draft, man? That's a rumor speculating that you might not be attending. Like, that any truth to that?
I don't know about none of that.
Where that come from?
The draft? They talking about like going to the draft or something?
Yeah. In the green room at the draft. They saying you won't be attending. Who said that?
Hey, boy, if I'm number 1 pick, boy, I only get to walk that stage one time with a smile on my face.
Gotta do it.
Got to do it.
Take the commissioner
First person
hand.
in my family to do it? Oh, definitely doing it.
Yeah.
Definitely doing it.
Okay, so it seemed like he going to the NFL draft. Shador, he gonna be holding his draft party at Colorado. So I thought they both were gonna do it together at Colorado instead of this in front of the students over there. But I guess Travis Hunter, he want to walk that stage. He want to.
Yeah, that's big. You gotta go shake the commissioner hand, man. Tell Mr. Goodell, man, we here, baby.
Yeah, for real. Even though it's kind of far.
Yeah, but it's crazy though that you signed with Wayne, and Wayne is a natural Green Bay fan, and y'all in the draft.
He
in
signed
Green
with
Bay.
Wayne?
What's the odds of that happening?
Oh God.
Yeah, I just wanted to go over Travis Hunter, him talking about what his intentions are with the draft and all that. Next, we got D-Hop and the Chiefs. We're going to see how his time has went with the Chiefs so far. I think the Chiefs, they might run it back, man, again. They might do it again. I'm not even going to lie. They got Marquise Hollywood Brown back. They got D-Hop. Who else they got? They got Xavier Worthy. They got Travis Kelce. They got that old line. They got Isaiah Pacheco back, Pistachios. That defense, you already know they solid during playoff time. That defense definitely solid. So I might put my money on the Chiefs. That boy definitely old, man. But hey, I do hope that he get a ring. I do hope so. My team, we're not in the playoffs, so I don't really care who wins the Super Bowl. But right now, it's just feeling like the Chiefs, based off everything and the history of the Chiefs. It just feel like the Chiefs got it. No matter how talented the Ravens are, the Bills, I feel like the Chiefs, they might come out. The only other team that I think that would threaten the Chiefs is the Ravens. If Lamar act right, he played well in a playoff game and he beats the Chiefs, then I think this year's Lamar Jackson's year to win everything. But if Lamar can't beat the Chiefs, then Chiefs, they're gonna win everything. That's what I think. Next, we gonna go over the firing of Antonio Pierce. I told you about Gerard Mayo. He got fired after 1 year. Antonio Pierce, he got fired after 1 year. Based off the stats, it might seem like black head coaches don't really get an opportunity, but they actually do. But the percentages don't lie. There's more white coaches getting hired than black coaches. But the percentage of black coaches who get fired after 1 year is 35%. The amount of white coaches who get fired after 1 year is only 11%. But, there's more white coaches being hired than black coaches. So the percentage for black coaches getting fired after 1 year is way higher than the white coaches. I wonder why is that way. But hey, it is what it is. The league, the Rooney Rule. You gotta at least interview one black head coach. And the players were vouching for um, Antonio Pierce last year to be the head coach. They were vouching for him, and he got fired the next year. The next year, man. Based off the film, whenever I watch the Raiders, they always kept it close. Even though they don't really got talent like that, they always kept it close, man. Always kept it close. So shout out to Antonio Pierce. I feel bad for him. But we're going to see who they hire. I've been hearing rumors that it's already official. They're going to get Mike Vrabel in there. That's what I'm hearing. He has that connection with Tom Brady, the front office. So that's an easy transition, but they just need to find a quarterback. That's it.
Off here on NFL Live, Adam Schefter posting less than a half hour ago that Antonio Pierce has been fired as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Dan Graziano with us now. Graz, what more can you tell us about the decision?
Yeah, Antonio Pierce, much like Gerard Mayo in New England, out after just 1 year as head coach. A lot of good feeling around that situation last year because he had finished as strong as an interim coach the year before. But the GM Tom Telesco, who we've been told is staying on as general manager, and new minority owner Tom Brady, both expected to have a role in the selection of the next head coach. Antonio Pierce obviously the team did not perform to the extent that ownership wanted it to this year, and they've decided to make a change moving forward.
All right, more from Graz throughout the show. This, by the way, the Raiders' fourth head coach they'd be looking for in 5 years' time. Mina Kimes, Dan Orlovsky, Andrew Hawk.
Dysfunctional. Dysfunctional right there, man. You're running through them coaches. You're running through them. Like, you got to chill out. Keep one coach for at least 2 years. Then if you don't really like them, then you could move off of them. Each year you're getting a different coach. Like, give somebody a chance. For real.
Here for the hour. Let's start with you, Dan, on this. You heard the information there that Brady could have a say in who they go with here. We expect that if they draft a quarterback as well. What do you think about this news?
I think the overall thing is, like, we have a head coaching, hiring, and firing epidemic a little bit. And I don't know the last time we had two coaches that were 1 year hires fired within that first or after that first season. And
wow,
something needs to be looked at with some of the hiring processes that are going on in some situations. I think number one, they have the 6th pick in the NFL draft, and then number two, $73 million, which is the 5th most in free agency. So Tom Telesco is going to stay as their general manager. Everyone's going to correlate, like, okay, you got to go get a quarterback. That is 100% valid, but we can't just consistently think get the quarterback. Like, it has to be about, they got to think about it in this regards. In the organization or in the division, they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They have Sean Payton and Bo Nix. And they have Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. So, like, you got to make sure that the head coach that you get is paired with the right quarterback to have any shot in the division.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you about the quarterback not being the sole issue,
but all those good head coaches, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid, Antonio Pierce, he wasn't going to cut it, bro. He wasn't going to cut it. I mess with him, former player, but he don't compare to those guys. He don't. You're going to need a guy, as good or even better compared to Sean Payton, Andy Reid, and Jim Harbaugh. So the Raiders, they're going to have it rough for the next few years. It seems like Broncos, they found their quarterback. Chargers, they found their quarterback. Chiefs, you already know they found their quarterback. It's just the Raiders. They're having an issue finding that quarterback. And the quarterbacks in the draft and the quarterbacks in free agency do not seem like the answer for the Raiders to beat Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix. So I don't know what the Raiders going to do. I do not know what the Raiders going to do. I feel bad for Christian Wilkins. He don't have to go through this. You could come back to Miami. We'll give you a cheaper deal. And just let me know, fam. But
the quarterback is why Antonio Pierce doesn't have a job right now, right? Like, this was the worst quarterback situation room in the NFL by a lot of people's estimations going into the season, and they lived up or down to the expectations. I mean, the second they rolled into the season with Gardner Minshew, who they gave a pretty sizable contract, by the way, Tom Telesco did, and Aiden O'Connell, you knew how this was going to go. And you look back, obviously you're happy you have Brock Bowers, who's sensational. But you do.
There's some young talent on the team. There is.
Yeah, definitely. Jackson Power Johnson's there, also is, and the wide receiver room is good. But you do look back at the last offseason and wonder if that was their chance to maybe go up and get one as we head into an offseason where there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks and not a lot of quarterbacks.
It's worth remembering they wanted Michael Penix Jr., right? And they weren't able to get him. Had they gotten him, think about how differently their season could have gone, especially considering how well he's looked in Atlanta.
I mean, I'm in the Mina camp as well. Like that's why it's surprising to me. Yes, there's a firing issue, but coming into the season, we were very aware of what the quarterback situation was, and it was looking like a team with a quarterback that was going to be 4 wins. Yeah, there's talent on the team, but you can't expect for an offense and a team to move when you, like you said, you have Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Like, yeah, they'll play good in moments and spurts.
Them boys really thought they was going to win with them boys? They really thought that? Man.
Backups, but nobody looked at them and said these are franchise guys. So after 1 year with that as a quarterback, I'm not surprised by the Raiders' result after year 1.
I'll be really interested to see how much say Tom Brady has and how his vantage point is different than some of like the New England attachments. He has the benefit of going to another organization and seeing how they're doing it, because everyone constantly attaches the Patriot way or the under the Belichick tree to you can't do it that way. It can't just be replicated. And so Tom goes to Tampa, Jason Light and Bruce Arians, and he has experiences success. I'd just be interested to see how that perspective kind of shapes a lot of his impact.
You mentioned that they pick at 6. Quarterback is not probably an option there. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders already off the board. They would need to go up. You wonder, like Max Crosby. I mean, you hate to send him away. He's like the identity of the team. But do you think that we could be in a situation where you see them make a big trade to try to get up a little higher in the draft?
I don't think either of those quarterbacks right now, I have to study them, are worth to try and go get Jaden Daniels of last year, you know? I think this feels a lot more like, let's make sure we hire the right head coach and we address the quarterback situation. Maybe it's Kirk Cousins. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's Sam Darnold or a second-round pick rather than jumping the gun and mortgaging the future, because they do have good young talent.
All right, interesting. All right, I'm hearing we have a tweet to see. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but we're going to put it up on the screen here as we continue this breaking news. Oh, Raiders limited owner Tom Brady, according to Adam Schefter, expected to be part of a collaborative committee to interview head coaching candidates. And
you know, Tom Brady, former employees that he worked with, Brian Flores and Mike Vrabel. You know, I think is either one of those two guys that will get this job. Either one of those two.
Support team owner Mark Davis, per league sources. So he'll be in the interviews, sounds like. Just, Mina, a quick reaction to that.
Yeah, I'll be interested in seeing, sort of to Dan's point, how much he wants to find a coach. His decision or the qualities he's looking for pertain to the environment for the quarterback, right? Like if they are going for a young quarterback, is he going to be leaning towards getting an offensive mind, someone with play calling experience, or drawing on his own experience in New England? Is it more about a program builder? Will he be open-minded to defensive coaches? I truly don't know. I think, though, it is going to tell us a lot about how they view the quarterback position as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Huge.
RIP to Antonio Pierce. You know, I wouldn't say he was a good head coach, but he ain't deserved to be fired after 1 year. He ain't deserved that. Dolphins found their quarterback. I don't know who you talking about, fam. I don't think we found our quarterback just yet. I don't think so. Wilkins chose money just like Tyreek. He definitely did. Most definitely did, man. Next, we got Brian Flores. He might get that Raiders job. Let's check out what Chris Sims had to say about this.
And the greatest team of all time. One that protects everyone's right to chase a dream and opens doors to second chances. Who wouldn't want to be part of a team like that?
I mean, as I sit here right now, the people that jump off the page to me, like the top head coaching candidates, right? There's a few more than there is maybe to go around, but we mentioned a few. Ben Johnson and Vrabel, I think, are at the top of the list. Then you get into Todd Monken, Brian Flores, Joe Brady, Liam Cohn, Aaron Glenn. That, to me, is the cream of the crop. Please correct me if you think there's anybody else in there.
See, in that list, all those guys, I could see them getting a job. I do see that, but with Gruden, I just think he got to wait another year, man. Another year, so he might be available. He might be available.
That you think is worthy of that, but those are the ones that jump out to me as going to be the most sought-after group of all these candidates out there. And, I think Vrabel and Beefalo are the most top-heavy defensive guys out there that makes sense.
And Flores said yesterday he will take any interview. He will talk to anyone who wants to talk to him.
Oh, wow.
When he filed 3 years ago on February 1, his lawsuit against the NFL, the Giants, the Broncos, the Dolphins, and ultimately the Texans, it was generally accepted whoever was the one to do that was basically trading in their career. And the Steelers gave him the initial lifeline as a member of the staff for 2022. Then the Vikings made him the defensive coordinator for 2023. That was a surprise. And now it's refreshing that we're at a point where, and there's going to be some upset people. Specifically the owners of the teams that have been sued by Brian Flores and have had to pay monthly invoices. Even though the case hasn't moved off of square one, there has been legal activity.
Right.
And they've been paying because Brian Flores stepped out of line from their perspective and poked Big Shield right in the eye. They're going to have a problem with that. It's good to know that they haven't banded together to freeze him out. And it's good to know that he's going to get real opportunities because last year he didn't. He should have been interviewed last year and he wasn't. So it took some time, and here we are. And Flores would make sense with the Raiders because if anybody's going to not care, say what you will about Mark Davis, if anybody's going to not care about that kind of stuff, it's Mark Davis.
Yeah.
His dad was a trailblazer when it came to hiring Art Shell, hiring Tom Flores, hiring Amy Trask at a time when it was all white men everywhere you looked at every NFL team in every position of power. He didn't need a Rooney Rule to tell him to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, he didn't care about that. He just wants the best people because he wants to just win, baby.
He's right. I don't care what color your skin is or your hair or what you look like. I think you know football. You can be here. I was around Al Davis just a few times in my life, and that was one thing that certainly jumped out to you. It was football. That was it. Football, football, football. Who the hell cares about color of skin, race, any of that crap? So that's where he's special. And, yeah, you're right. I think Mark Davis has got that aspect about him of being able to.
Yeah, we can't even lie. Like, Brian Flores, he a smart guy. He a definitely smart guy. Based off what he's doing with the Vikings, he's proven that he deserves a head coaching job. He just got to go somewhere with a quarterback already in place. The Raiders do not have a quarterback in place. If he goes into next year's draft, Raiders, they got the number 6 pick. I don't think Flores could get a guy that could be a game changer. So you basically putting Flores in the same position as Antonio Pierce. I think Flores is a better head coach than Antonio Pierce, but you're going to put him in a situation where he doesn't have a quarterback and he has to go up against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Sean Payton. You kind of like setting up Brian Flores to fail at that point. You kind of are.
Relate and be that way and, not give a crap maybe about what, the common talk is out there. But they're certainly a team that needs a kick in the ass, for lack of a better way to say it. And they need something that's going to excite, everybody there in Las Vegas. They've yet to have that for their Raiders football team. And, we watch games, and, there's a lot of away fans there. Visiting team fans there right now, and that's because there's nothing to latch onto with that football team. No player other than Max Crosby is really a household name, and that's why it's a big
Bowers.
Yeah, and Brock Bowers now. He's in there too. You're right, but that's why this is a big hiring cycle for them here.
Yeah, and we'll see where it goes, and we'll see if Brian Flores does get not just interviews but offers. And I assume if he gets an offer after signing away, when you put your name at the bottom of that complaint, presumably your ability to ever be a head coach again, and trading that in, if your ship comes in, you're gonna jump on it, and it very well could be the Raiders at the end of the day. That could be the candidate, the fallback candidate. If they can't get Vrabel, let's go get Flores, and let's see what we can do, and let's bring in a veteran quarterback, not a young quarterback that would need to be properly coddled, because I don't think I don't. That whole Tua Flores stuff, I think there's probably, two sides, and the truth is in the middle.
Yeah.
But Flores handled it very well after Tua just like went
some
after
shots,
him.
right,
And it
yeah.
almost seemed gratuitous, and that's okay. If he had a score to settle, that's his business. But Flores, I think, handled it with aplomb, with grace, and with self-awareness. And I think he's grown and developed as a coach, and I think he's got a chance to be really good. And the Raiders may be happy to get him. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.
Get loud, shake it from your waist down.
Shout out to Brian Flores. We're gonna see if he's gonna get that job next. We got Vic Fangio. You know, I'm just trying to find some videos just to react to since there's no Dolphins no more. No Dolphins until September. But let's check out what Vic Fangio has to say before his playoff game up against who the Eagles playing? The Green Bay Packers. So I think they're gonna win. You know, no Jair Alexander. You know, it seemed like he made the right choice in regards to going to the Eagles. Look where the Dolphins at right now. We're not in the playoffs. We're not in the playoffs, man. So
use the game one, week one, I guess I should say, tape with the Packers, considering how long ago it was.
I mean, obviously you look at it, but, you know, teams evolve during the season to certain points. You know, we've evolved, they've evolved, but definitely you look at it.
Along those lines, what are some of the biggest differences you see from that offense recently?
You know, not a lot. They are running the ball very, very well, and they have their play-pass game off of that. They're a big play team. They get a lot of explosives because of the quality of their running game, and it's a really good offense. They do a good job calling it. They keep you off balance, and really good.
What do you feel like you guys are as a run defense going into this?
It's a good question. We've had good games and not so. We've had in between.
that boy's still critical. Still critical. Ever since Miami, he's the same way. The same way.
We'll be tested this week. These guys run it very, very well.
You don't know which quarterback will play. Obviously, sounds like Love may be able to go, but does the uncertainty actually make it more difficult in terms of preparation?
Not really. I mean, obviously, if Love doesn't go, there's a little bit of change in their offense, but not a gross change.
That first game was a heavier blitz game for you. How much of that was opponent specific, and how much was you figuring out your own personnel at that time?
Both.
Man, this guy, he got no feelings, man.
You played, obviously, Brian.
No feelings at all, man. Just bland. Bland.
Huff and Jordan Davis quite a bit Sunday. As far as Huff's concerned, like, how important was it for him to kind of like shake off the cobwebs, the rust, or whatever it was, and how do you think he did?
Yeah, it was real important for him. I mean, the only way you get better playing football is to practice it first and then to play it second in a real game. And it was good to get him a lot of reps. I think he improved a little bit from the 15 or so plays he had the week before, and hopefully he'll improve some more this week.
What's Jordan Love's best attribute?
He's got a big arm. He can throw it to all parts of the field with accuracy and touch. He's got good movement in the pocket. He's elusive. And he really fits their offense. That offense needs a guy that can throw it down the field. He can do that. They need a guy that can scramble a little bit and be elusive. He can do that. He's a perfect fit for their offense.
Any personal gratification going through 17 games, number one defense?
I think it's a good honor for the players. They're the ones that did the work. They deserve it.
It's sad, man. Vic Fangio leaves us, and he goes and get the number one defense in the whole NFL. Number one defense, man. Just sick, man. Sick. And now that we see how the players are acting now that he left, I know last year, players not coming in late with Vic Fangio. That's not happening. That's not happening. As soon as Vic Fangio left, all of our players coming late to practice. There's no authority there. Anthony Weaver, I feel like he was a strict coach, but not as strict as Vic Fangio. It seems like all the strict head coaches or coaches that come into Miami, they find their way out because the players, they don't want to, give in to whatever they're saying. It's Miami. People probably feel like they could do whatever they want since it's in Miami. If you're an NFL player in Miami, if you're a Miami Dolphin, they're gonna treat you like a king out there. They're like, oh, you play for the Dolphins, you feel like you're above the population at that point. But once you get to practice, you're not above the population. You're around everybody that work at the same place as you. But you got your coaches that you gotta abide to. But it just depends on what coach you're talking about. Every coach different ways. And Vic Fangio, his coaching style, our players didn't like it. They didn't like it, man. So it goes to show you, man, we had the right coaches. It's just the players they weren't giving into whatever the coaches were preaching to them. From what Vic Fangio said right here, him having the number one defense, you can tell that he wasn't the problem. Everybody gonna talk about like Vic Fangio, he was the problem, but he wasn't. After all this time, man. So we seen this happen before. We lost Brian Flores. He goes to the Vikings, number one defense. Not the number one, but Vikings, they have a good defense. Vic Fangio, come to Miami, leave, number one defense. And Miami, we a special case, man. We a special case.
But, we're on to the playoffs now.
When you think about the contributions you got from Quinyon and Cooper as rookies, what did it take to get that much from them in their first years?
Yeah, they both did a good job. Obviously Coop was a little late starting because of his off-season injury. Both very happy with both of those guys. They've improved. They've been diligent in their approach.
He ain't said that about Cam Smith last year. Nope.
Coach, their thirst to get better has been good. Everything's been good about them.
What makes their running game so effective?
Well, they got a really good line to begin with. I think their 5-0 linemen have been in there for every play, I think.
Wow.
Number one. Number two, they have a great back. Jacobs has had as good a year as anybody. And he's hard to tackle, runs physical. And they have the play-pass game off of it, so they have really good big play receivers that you're always.
I like Jacobs, but I feel like the D tackles will have an effect in regards to the running game with the Packers. I don't think the Packers going to be able to run the ball that well against Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter. That's probably like the best D tackle group in the whole NFL. The best D tackle group. DNs, they're good there as well. Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, they look like a top 5 linebacking duo in the whole NFL. The DBs, you already know about that. They found 2 good, amazing DBs, Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And they have Darius Slay. And I think they still have Bradbury in there too. So they're deep at corner. They have Isaiah Rodgers. So it's ridiculous how much depth the Eagles have. I think they're the deepest team in the whole NFL. They gotta be.
Was worried about, and the combination of them being to throw it down the field and run it is a tough combination.
With that receiving core.
Yeah, I found coming in late is disrespectful, man. Disrespectful. Our players, they can't take the heat. They can't. You're pretty much giving the coach a middle finger, but it just depends on the coach, man. And there's certain coaches that you wouldn't do that to. You just wouldn't. Like Vic Fangio, he's one of those coaches. I could just tell, you can't. That's not flying with him. That's not flying. Brian Flores, that's not flying with him. None of his players will ever do that. With Mike McDaniel, that probably happened a few times, and Mike McDaniel probably just let it happen. He seemed like that type of head coach. I love Mike McDaniel, but if you can't control these players, man, I'd rather have you as an offensive coordinator than a head coach. I'd rather do that, man. If you want to be an analyst, hey, we'll take you in. All you got to do is draw up the plays, print out the papers with the plays, and that's it. Give it to the main person. Not too bad of a job, man. You don't have to work too hard. All we really need is your brain. That's all we really need.
What stands out, even with Christian Watson probably out for that game in the foreseeable future?
They're all good. Dobbs is good. Reed is good. The tight end is good. Jacobs gets screens and check downs. They spread the ball around a lot. They got a bunch of guys with around 50 receptions or more. it's hard to focus on one guy.
We're talking a lot about, week one seeming like a long time ago. How far back do you go in your career and what you've seen in prepping for any particular game? Do you go, to something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago? And how often do you do that? Does that ever come up any?
10 years ago, 20 years ago? No. Do you go back to previous games? Yeah, but you don't overdo it.
LaFleur made comments years ago praising you as one of the toughest defensive coordinators to face. But you mentioned their play pass, run, setting up the pass, et cetera. What makes him so good at calling his offense?
Yeah, he's got a great knowledge of his offense. He's got a great feel for calling the game, and it's easier for him to do that because the run is never a bad play for those guys. And he has the patience and the mindset to stick with the run and then mix in the play passes. And I think he does a great job calling the game.
A lot of times if a team's got two rookie starting defensive backs, there's going to be concern going to the playoffs. Is the moment too big and all that? With these two guys, do you have any concerns at all? Do they kind of not seem like rookies anymore?
Well, they're not rookies. In Q's case, he's played 16 games, and Coop's played, 14, 12, 13, whatever it is. So, no, I think they're ready. They've played in a lot of big games this season against a lot of quality opponents, and I think they'll be ready.
The Rams are the only other team you've seen that runs motion as much as the Packers do. How does that factor into your preparation this week and the coverage rules for the game?
Yeah, they do a good job with their motion. They use it a lot. They have a variety of different motion types, and we've got to be on our adjustments.
Vic, a lot of teams are starting to interview for head coaching positions. Do you have any desire to be a head coach again?
No, I'm happy to be here right now.
Oh, wow. So, Big Fangio, he don't want to be a head coach no more. He don't want to be a head coach. He happy with Philly. So be it, man.
Specifically, what's the biggest thing that stood out to you?
I didn't say.
For Quinnen specifically, what's the biggest thing that stood out to you during his rookie year?
Just that he had the diligence to keep working at it. Never felt like I've arrived and slacked off. Always had a good thirst to get better and to learn, Very good in the meetings. He has extra meetings with Christian. So I never saw him slack off.
Couple more.
Cam Smith, what this got to say about you? Cam Smith, what this got to say about you, man? Crazy, man. Big Fangio, he ain't never talk about our players like this. Every press conference with Big Fangio, he never talked like this. Never.
Comment when he made the Pro Bowl.
What's that?
I'm sorry, Zach Vaughn told us your comment when he made the Pro Bowl, which
What was my
reminding
comment?
of the conversations about, I guess, getting time on the edge back in the spring. And in your, I know you're optimistic
with Zach Vaughn,
but did you ever anticipate?
He's an edge guy that came out of Wisconsin. Big fan. He ain't never really do anything while he was in the league. As soon as he went to the Eagles, they turned him into a linebacker, and now he's playing like one of the best linebackers in the league. So I don't know what Big Fangio put in his water, what food he feeding him, but man, Big Fangio, he a mastermind. But I just think it's Miami. He's seen how the players were acting. He's seen the culture. He's seen the locker room. He's seen man, I'm not saying that I want him back, but I'm just saying, like, man, this is like a showing sign in regards to what was really going on.
Anticipate a Pro Bowl caliber season from them?
Well, it's hard to say that, going back to them, but I think you don't put any limits on players. If you put limits on them, you'll get limited production. Take them to the ceiling that they can go to.
What would you say is the biggest?
But why did you limit Cam Smith? Why did you limit Cam Smith? He was putting Ethan Bonner out there more than Cam Smith. Ethan Bonner.
Change in terms of how you guys defended the run. I mean, in that first game, they got you a few times. I know they new personnel, et cetera, but you've been able to have relative success against stopping the run despite having light boxes. Has that been the main thing? You've just been figured out how to do it with a 4-2 front?
Yeah. we've improved as the seasons wore on. I think our guys understand what we need to do and have played it better, although we've had times where we haven't. I just think it's the overall improvement and evolution of the season.
You mentioned Kraft a little bit, Tucker Kraft. He's taken that big step forward, it looks like, this year. When you have that type of tight end, what kind of stress does that put on the defense?
Yeah, it's just another really good weapon amongst all their receivers. And he is a good tight end. He can get down the field, yet he can catch screens and check downs, and really good runner after the catch. You know, they've got a really good quality skill position group that's backed up by a really good offensive line. And they're all excelling right now.
Hey, shout out to Vic Fangio, man. This little press conference brought a lot of light to my eyes, man, in regards to last year. Next, we got a mock draft for all 32 NFL teams, but we're going to mostly watch this for the Dolphins. Give me one moment.
How I do business. I'm a photographer and independent business. It's a fact.
With the regular season over, a new season begins. It's officially mock draft season. Here's a look at CBS Sports draft analyst Ryan Wilson's latest mock draft, who in his own words says that this draft class might not be as sexy this year, at least when it comes to quarterbacks, but there are still plenty of good players, especially on defense.
Hey, that's facts, fam. I'm just hoping that we pick the right players in this draft that's not going to be focused on, the nightlife in Miami. Hey, I'll be out there sometimes too. I'll be going to the office sometimes. I'll be going to a booby trap sometimes. But it's been a long time. I'll be busy streaming now. That's my life, just streaming, working out, and working. That's it. I don't got time to go out to the club like that. But, every time I go out there, it's a time to be had in Miami. I love Miami. I really do. But as an NFL player, it's going to be a distraction. Everywhere you go, there's a distraction in Miami. Everywhere you go.
And with that, let's bring in the man of the hour, CBS Sports draft analyst Ryan Wilson, and of course, pushing the pile, co-host Mike Renner. Let's get right into.
Let's get to the Dolphins.
Maybe even more.
Talking every team that missed the postseason this year, and this is the third straight now that it's kind of surprising they didn't make it. The Miami Dolphins, they had the ugly situation with Tyreek Hill at the end of that season. Mike, what do you think about Ryan having him going with the A&M edge, Nick Scorton here?
There's a lot of money that they're going to be dedicating to the defensive end position between Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson last year. I know he's versatile, and maybe you can play him inside a little bit, but if I'm the Dolphins, I'm probably looking more towards the offensive line. You just have to, as you go forward for this franchise, keep Tua upright. He is truly one hit away from being gone, but you've seen what this offense looks like when he's not in there. So I think offensive line is the place to go. Now, easier said than done. It's not a good offensive line class, but I just don't think another defensive end. Yeah, I think Nick Scorton's a talented football player, but it just seems like they have so many guys on that roster right now that I'd probably
him. He's a pretty good guy, but I don't think we should invest in Nick Sorensen. I don't think so. He's a guy who could play edge and in the inside, like a 3 technique, if you really need that. But, as of right now, we got bigger needs, to be honest. And I think we picking at 13, there's a way better players that we could have picked at 13 than him. Way better players.
Probably look elsewhere for Miami.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. The edge rushers can't stay healthy, unfortunately. Sure. And the offensive line is a need, but as you noted, the offensive line class isn't that deep. And I don't know if there's anyone more important to their team than Tua Tagovailoa, because you take them out of that offense, and they go from a 10 or 11-win team to a 3-win outfit. And I know that I'm obviously sort of half joking about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson's impact, but it's wild to me how important Tua is. So keeping him upright should be a priority, but as Mike noted, this class isn't particularly deep after the top 2 guys, at least to tackle.
All right, the Falcons have the number 15 pick. And
so, yeah, y'all let me know how y'all think about this pick. I don't think this is the pick right here. I don't think so. We got to go O-lineman. Got to go O-lineman, man. Next, we just going to go over some players that I think the Dolphins should pick up in free agency. O linemen only. O linemen. These are the ones that caught my eye. I went through the list of all the free agent O linemen coming up, and I got about like 8 guys that I think would be a good fit on this team. Some of them on the older side. Some of them we could catch them while they're still in their prime. Some of them. Just give me one moment. First person we got is Drew Dahlman, a center, number 67. He could play guard as well. He had a pretty good year, PFF grade of 78.8, and he's going to be a free agent. So I would make this move with this guy. I don't care if we already have Aaron Brewer. We just move him to guard, and if Aaron Brewer get hurt ever, we could just put Dahlman in at center. So this is a versatile guy that we could put on our team. Very, very versatile. Let me see. He did speak about free agency, but I'm not seeing it right here. But Drew Dahlman, that's the first person. The second person, let me put it right here. We just going to briefly go over everybody because there's a lot of people on this list that I like. Next person is Nick Harris. Another center guy that we could pick up. I'm clicking the link, it's not even going. Just copy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. PFF. Okay, now it's good. But next person we got is Nick Harris. I know he has a bad PFF grade currently, but I think he would work in our scheme. He could kind of move, 6'1", 293, around the same size as Aaron Brewer, around the same size. So he would strictly be a backup center. But if you want to try him out at guard, go right ahead, by all means. But I would just bring him in regards to us getting him on a cheaper deal rather than spending too much money on some other people. Nick Harris would be somebody I would keep an eye out for to see if we're able to bring him in to Miami and develop him. Because with all these guys, I'm not going to look at their PFF score too much because I feel like with our coach that coached the O-line, Butch Barry, is it Butch Barry? Yeah, I think it is. He could get this PFF score all the way up to maybe a 60. I'm gonna give him a good 15 points, 10 points extra because of our O-line coach, because he that good. He ain't work his magic with Liam Eichenberg. We know that, but we're talking about some talent here. Nick Harris, he's a talented person when he was coming out of Washington. Washington, they be producing. They definitely do be producing. Next person I got for y'all is James Daniels. We talked about him a few years ago in regards to him being a Dolphin, but it seemed like the Steelers, they already made that move to make him a Dolphin. Already made that move. I'm going to let it load up real quick. Right here we have James Daniels. He had a 92.9 PFF grade this year. 92.9, so that's pretty good. Pretty good, man. How old is he? 27 years old, so he's still a little bit young, like 2 years. 2 years. We could keep him on the team. And, he's going to be a plug-and-play player. Put him right next to Aaron Brewer. We don't know if we're going to keep Teron Armstead or not, but I would love to keep Teron Armstead on this team. I would love that. He played for Iowa Hawkeyes, and, they always producing good old linemen. Always producing good old linemen. There's a lot of positions. I see what you said, Billy. Will Levis played good in Miami. We should acquire him. Hey, you smart for that. You smart. Some people, I tell them that, and they be like, nah, you tripping. Will Levis, he's sorry. But based off the way he throws that ball, he would fit this scheme. He would fit this scheme. He has a fast release for a quarterback, fast release. But something's not clicking up here. Something's not clicking. Maybe it's the mayo and the coffee. Who knows? We can draft this position. We could draft every position. We need every position, but we're gonna bring in some free agents. We're gonna bring some in for sure. You know that. Born in 1997, a year after me. But yeah, I'm surprised that he got this PFF score. Very, very surprised. I think he got hurt this year. Didn't he get hurt? Didn't he? But yeah, man. James Daniels, another good guy. I just wish he grew a little bit of hair, just a little bit, fam. You don't look good with the low cut. That's not a low cut. That's no cut. No cut right there. Next person we got is Austin Corbett, a guard slash center for the Panthers. Whenever they needed him for center, they'll move him to center, but he strictly played guard. So he has that versatility to play guard and center for us. So if we're missing Aaron Brewer, he could go in that center. If we're missing whoever our guard would be, Austin Corbett, he could go in there as well. So it's very important that we get those offensive linemen that could play all 5 positions or three. And Austin Corbett, he's the one that could play all the interior tackle. I don't think he could play that. Another guy, Patrick McCary, for the Ravens, he plays left tackle, right tackle, guard, center. He plays everything, but I don't think the Ravens gonna let him go. He's a free agent this upcoming year, but I don't think they're gonna let him go. I don't think so. If they do, Dolphins make the move. Here's Austin Corbett's overall PFF 62.9. Y'all gonna look at this and think like it's low. Y'all gonna think it's low, but who on the team is offering better than this, other than Aaron Brewer and Teron Armstead? Nobody. This is what we're used to getting in Miami in regards to O-line play. We're used to this, but this is a little bit better compared to what we're used to getting. A little bit better, man. So I think Austin Corbett, he will be a cheap option to bring in to play guard and center. Give us some stability in our room at O-line. Next person I got for y'all is Kevin Zeitler. He currently plays for the Lions. What team he played for before? I think it's the Giants. The Ravens for a little bit. Then he went to the Lions. A pretty good guard. He's been playing for a few years. Quite a few years. Look at his PFF score this year. 86.8 at his age. That's amazing right there. 34. And he's still balling out. Man. Wisconsin Badgers, my bad. They always produce an O-lineman. Always. So this is not a surprise in regards to Kevin Zeitler playing this good for this long. Born in 1990. 5 sacks allowed. That's quite a bit, but with Tua, you're gonna have to lower this right here. I'm not even gonna lie. Don't even let 1 sack get to Tua. Don't even let 1, because 1 could take Tua out at this point. It can. But this is a very, very good overall for an old lineman at his age, man. So I would give him a shot, even though he's 34. We gave Teron Armstead a shot. We gave him so we might as well give Kevin Zeitler a shot too. And he probably won't even ask for too much. He probably won't because of his age. He might retire pretty soon. Jack of all O-line positions and masters of none. Yeah, I'll take that any day. I'll have faith knowing that if I could switch you out with one person and you're not going to do bad, then I'll be cool with that. So McCary, if he's available, I'll take him. Next person we got. I'm quite familiar with this guy right here. I went up against him in high school. Went up against this guy in high school. He's currently the backup tackle and guard for the Eagles. Fred Johnson. He's been in the league for a long time. the other teams that he played for, I think he played for the Bucks or the Bengals, one of those teams. But he didn't really play too well for those teams. But with the Eagles, they always good at producing old linemen. Always good. 6'7", 326, man. This guy, when I went up against him, man, I couldn't do nothing against him. Long arms. I'm only 6 foot 200. He's 6'7", 326. Imagine that. Imagine that. He ain't pancake me though. But when you have a short reach compared to a guy who has a long wingspan, it's kind of hard to get your hands on him to make a move. So that was my problem with Fred Johnson. But as soon as I seen him in high school and his size, he was the same size in high school, 6'7", 300 something, same size. Florida Gators. So he went to one of my favorite schools in college football. One of my favorites was PFF score 47.5, but he's continuously getting better. 8 sacks allowed. But he's getting developed over there with the Eagles. He is, most definitely. But a shout out to Fred. Definitely my dog. Definitely my dog. I don't talk to him like that now because he focused on the season, but he be in the city sometimes and I'll be seeing him from here, from time to time. So shout out to Fred. Not very often I run into people that I actually played against. There's I played against Lamar Jackson. I played against him. They're all from Florida, Palm Beach. We producing here. We producing, man. But shout out to Fred Johnson. That would be a good option, a big option. Him and Patrick Paul next to each other, that's gonna make every team scared to go up against us. Every team. Next person, we got Brady Christensen. Let me put him right here. Let's see what PFF he had this year. He's pretty much the same thing as McCary, but he's not as good as McCary. I seen him play left tackle before for the Panthers. I seen him play guard before for the Panthers. He played a little bit of center before, and they got him strictly at center here. So he played a lot of positions. So a lot of people don't know that about him. They don't know. 6'6", 300. He went to BYU. PFF score 63.6, so not too bad. Not too bad. A lot of these guys, we got to bring them in hoping that we could develop them to be a better player, to be honest. So with Brady Christensen, he showed some potential coming out of BYU, but I just think that he didn't land with the right teams that could turn him to the player that he could be. This guy, he was blocking for Zach Wilson in college, so I don't know what that means, but hopefully that doesn't mean anything bad. Zach Wilson, he's not that boy, but Brady Christensen, he was all right at BYU. He was definitely all right, man. Most definitely. Who else I got for y'all? Next person I got Opeta. Let me look him up real quick. Sua Opeta. This is a guy that you guys probably don't know about. Definitely a strong player. If you're an old lineman and you're strong, I could try to work with you. Just as long as you're a little bit mobile, we could probably make something happen. He ain't really get a lot of snaps this year, so probably a lot of people not going to be targeting him. But if you see potential in him, based off his strength, I think he put up like 40 something on the bench. You could try to work it out with him. And like I told you, with our O-line coach, I just feel like he's a guy that could develop, some of the guys not some of the guys in our room, but some of the guys that we could bring in. I'm pretty sure Butch Berry, he's gonna stay with the team next year. So getting a guy like this instead of like Liam Eichenberg, Rob Jones, I think this would be a better option. I personally think that Sua Opeta could be a better guard than Rob Jones. He's probably not gonna be the best, but he will be better than Rob Jones. You'll tell the difference. You'll definitely tell the difference. So Opeta, that should be somebody that the Dolphins should take a look at for future reference. Who else I got for y'all? Tomorrow I got some draft prospect videos coming out as well. I've got the top 5 old linemen in college that I think the Dolphins should target. So be on the lookout for that. It won't be a live stream. It'll just be a regular video that I'll post on my YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. I wish I can do a live stream with that, but I might get copyright for doing that. So y'all just gonna have to deal with this. Next person, we got Trey Smith. This one, he gonna be an expensive person to try to get. Expensive person. We had the chance to get him in the draft a few years ago, but Chris Greer, it just seemed like he's allergic to O-linemen. It seemed like he's allergic to O-linemen. I do not know why. I'm pretty sure his PFF good, 78.8. He's currently still in the playoffs. Chiefs, they might try to work something out with them, or they might try to draft a guard to replace him, because where all that money gonna go to? Man? I don't think they have enough money to pay Trey Smith, but if he's available and we have enough money to pay him, we gotta make a move. Chris Greer, you said you taking the O-line serious now, right? You say you're taking it serious, so this would be the first step in regards to you taking it serious, getting Trey Smith on this team immediately. No excuses, man. No excuses. Trey Smith, he's strictly a guard, left or right guard. I don't see him playing tackle. Center, he might do it. But I think it's just left guard or right guard. This would make up for us losing Robert Hunt finally. We haven't replaced him yet. We haven't replaced Robert Hunt yet. And Trey Smith, he would be a perfect match with the Dolphins. Perfect match. So shout out to Trey Smith. And then last person, I feel like this guy, he's realistic for the Dolphins. Very, very realistic. We have Jalen Moore, a tackle out of the 49ers, a 74.9 grade this year. So he did pretty well. Each year he gets better and better and better. Playing alongside Trent Williams is definitely going to help your case in regards to being a better tackle out there. Trent Williams, sometimes he will not play a game, and they're going to need somebody to come in and replace Trent Williams and play half decent. And this was the guy, Jalen Moore. I think the 49ers, they might try to keep him. If they let him go, he's going to be a Dolphin. Mike McDaniel, that relationship, the 49ers, he knows his scheme. So I think this would be a guy that the Dolphins would try to target, let him play guard. He could play guard and tackle. No center. But, once you watch the tape on him, he's strictly a tackle. But if you have an injury at guard, then I would move him to guard. That's the case with Jalen Moore, man. So, yeah, I'm giving you guys all these players to keep your eye out for that the Dolphins would target. There's a lot more O-linemen that we could put on this list, but these are the main guys that I think have some reasoning in regards to the Dolphins taking a look at them. These are some of the guys, man. But, yeah, man, I appreciate all y'all for putting up on me on this live stream. If you just pulled up, go back to the beginning of the live stream. You'll see all the content we went over. We went over the mock draft for the Dolphins, the needs for the team. All that is at the beginning of this live stream. So y'all could always double back to that. We just went over the free agent O-lineman that the Dolphins should target. I might do receivers, maybe my next live stream, some receivers that we should target that would fit this scheme, maybe some running backs as well. Who knows? You name it, man. You name it. But the O-lineman video for college O-lineman will be coming out probably tomorrow. Man. But yeah, I'm gonna end this live stream a little early. I usually be going for 3 hours, but today, we just gonna do an hour 30. Y'all gonna see me tomorrow with the college prospects, and I'll probably be back live the next day after that. Man. But hey, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe for more content. Y'all go get y'all merch. Please support the channel. DGmerchandise.com. Support your boy. Top left-hand corner, barcode to donate. A shout out to my boy Billy. The only person that talked to me on the live. But it don't matter, man. I don't do it for the money, no nothing. I do it because I genuinely love football and the Dolphins. So all of it's gonna pay off for me. I'm gonna remember these days where I only had 4 people right now watching, I could connect this with my Twitch and my TikTok. It might get more views. I might do that. I might do that. But hey, Kyson, that he said he used to live stream. Nobody was watching him. Nobody was watching him, man. So hey, be on the lookout for me. This year gonna be a big year. I'm gonna continue to work for y'all. I'm not gonna give up this year. You shouldn't either. Continue to chase your dreams, no matter what anybody tells you. Continue to chase your dreams, man. I'm gonna keep on doing that. No matter what. No matter what, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Please leave a like before y'all leave. And comment if you want to as well. But hey, it's DG.